Hey guys, it's Cam, and over the next 3 days, Karis and I are going to take you on the ultimate West Aussie road trip. If you've got a long weekend free or are short on time during your WA visit, this is the perfect itinerary to fit in as many activities and see as many epic locations as possible. We left Perth at 3 a.m. this morning, en route to the southwest. We've got 3 days to fit as much adventure in as possible, so we are making the most of it, and hopefully going to get down for sunrise at Sugarloaf Rock this morning. That's the plan. Hopefully get some colour, hopefully get some pretty incredible views, and yeah, looking forward to the next 3 days. Okay, we have made it to Sugarloaf Rock. Karis and I left Perth at about 3 a.m. this morning, so we've been driving for about 3.5 hours, just trying to make the most of our days here in the southwest, and it was well worth it. The sunrise is incredible. We've got some brilliant light out on the iconic Sugarloaf Rock, and very excited for the rest of today. We're going to head off to Dunsborough, which is nearby. Sugarloaf's about 10 or 15 minutes southwest of Dunsborough, and that's a beautiful coastal town. We're going to head there for breakfast, check out a few beaches, and then after that we're going to follow the coast southward. There's a lot of incredible locations along the coast here between Cape Leeuwin and Cape Naturalist. We've just had a brilliant coffee and breakfast at Dunsborough. We're heading back out to the coast now. Going to hit some of the more iconic spots southbound from Dunsborough towards Margaret River in this beautiful region of Western Australia. Karis and I are very lucky to be driving the Nissan X-Trail. Nissan have actually kindly sponsored this video and provided us with this vehicle. It's the e-Power Nissan. It's a pretty cool design that Nissan have come up with, very unique. There's an electric motor powering the wheels, but it's fueled by petrol with a combustion engine. So you get an EV-like experience in this car, smooth, responsive, quiet. It's an absolute pleasure to drive. I've been testing it out over the last few weeks. But you also get the convenience of being able to fuel up with petrol. We're pretty stoked to be using this over the next few days, and we'll share a bit more about it later. we've been exploring coastal rocks all morning, which has been incredible, but it's warming up coming into the afternoon now, so we're looking for somewhere to swim, and luckily we know just the spot. The aquarium is a pretty cool little snorkeling area down here near Margaret River. Let's head down. Okay, it's been a pretty long day today. We've just swang through Margaret River for lunch, bit of shopping, which was nice, and we're heading towards camp. We're camping near the coast at Conto Campground tonight, but on the way in, there is a cave called Lake Cave. Margaret River region is known for its caves that are explorable, and we've booked a guided tour into Lake Cave this afternoon before we head to camp. Me and Karis haven't been caving for a while, so this should be a lot of fun. All right, we've just finished exploring Lake Cave. Has to be the highlight of the day.
I loved it. It was so beautiful inside.
It was, yeah, it was stunning. One of the prettiest things I've ever seen. We are heading up to camp now. Luckily, it's only about a 5-minute drive away. And I'm gonna set up, cook dinner, and settle in for the night. We have just finished setting up camp. We've completely emptied the X Trail. Had an incredible time driving this beast today. The e-Power X-Trail from Nissan has been a lot of fun over the last few weeks of test driving it. This is my first longer road trip with the car. Drove about a total of 6 hours today, and it's only day 1 of 3, as you guys know. The car was incredible on the road, and we have a lot of gear. We've just finished unpacking it, but you can see how big the boot space is. I had my mountain bike in there, which we've gotten out and built. That'll be getting some use tomorrow, which will be really cool. But obviously all our camping gear and tents fit in very nicely. There's a lot to love about this car. But for now, we're gonna get dinner on. It's been a long day of adventuring. I hope you guys have enjoyed following along with it. And we'll probably catch the sunset before heading to bed. Good morning on day 2 of our road trip adventure. Just brewed up some coffees, and we're gonna head off just before the sun rises. And we've got another jam-packed day of activities today. Starting the day with a trip to Hamlin Bay, which is not too far away from where we're camping here at Conto. And then we are heading to one of the most incredible little country towns, Pemberton, which is in amongst these incredible, huge, ancient karri forests. And we'll have a bit of fun there before heading further south to Savo. Should be a fun day, and hopefully it warms up because it's a little bit chilly at the moment. We've got about an hour 45 drive to our next location towards the south coast of WA. But while we're driving, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show off a bit of the extra, a bit of the rig that we've been taking around over the last couple of days. It's really the perfect road trip vehicle. Got a massive display in the middle here for navigation and media control. The lane assist and cruise control are super techy and like nothing I've used before. And what's different with this X-Trail is the e-power technology that Nissan have developed. So this car runs on electric motors, giving a very electric vehicle-like driving experience, but it's fueled by petrol. So it has a combustion engine, which converts into electricity and powers the electric motors. And obviously in Western Australia, it's very big here. To drive from the bottom to the top is about 40 hours. And there's not a whole lot of electric vehicle charging infrastructure here. So the X-Trail e-power being fueled by petrol is super convenient. You can fill up, obviously almost anywhere in WA, and it's also giving you a lot more range, which is awesome. So with the electric motor, and in the case of this specific car, the dual electric motors, comes the e-Force all drive technology that Nissan have also developed. So the dual motors not only balance the car for some great traction, but they also control each of the four wheels independently, with torque and braking constantly adapting based on the surface and the traction of each individual wheel. So that means going uphill is a breeze and very smooth. Going off-road on gravel is super smooth as well. The e-power mixed with the e-Force is a pretty killer combo for my style of road trip. Pretty epic. We've made our way over to Pemberton, about an hour and 20-minute drive from Hamilton Bay. Just grabbed breakfast and a coffee at Wild at Heart Cafe on the main strip, which was very nice. And now we have come out to use this mountain bike that we've been hauling around in the X-Trail for the last 24 hours or so. So bike is getting put together now, and then we're going to hit some mountain bike trails. There's a pretty sick mountain bike park here at Pemberton, which I'm looking forward to hitting, doing some downhill runs, and it should be a bit of fun. So get the wheel on and we'll get moving. Always an epic time on the mountain bike, even more so when you're riding trails like this here in Pemberton. Some of the best mountain biking trails in Western Australia. Pemby is also home to some of the best hiking trails in Western Australia, and if you know me, you know I love hiking. It's also got some karri tree climbs, which is pretty cool. You can actually climb to the top of some of these trees. They put pegs and platforms in. They used to be used as old fire lookout towers. So don't miss Pemberton on your next West Aussie road trip, that's for sure. We're unfortunately leaving Pemberton now though, heading towards the south coast to the Warpaw region. More huge forests down there, some of the best coastline in the world. Lots of treats in store for you guys, so stay tuned. We can't wait. All right, we've made it to the south coast region. Right now we're between Denmark and Warpaw in the giant Tingle Forest, which is a pretty epic location. We're about to head onto the treetop walk here in the Valley of the Giants, which is one of the most unique experiences you can have here in Western Australia. A must do if you're in the area, although if you're afraid of heights, be careful about looking down. It is very high up in the canopy of these ancient giant tingle trees. Let's check it out. So we just swung past a couple of the insanely cool beaches here in the Denmark area, and we've made it into town, grabbed a quick late lunch at the iconic bakery here in Denmark. And the plan for this afternoon is to drive a little bit closer to Albany to West Cape Howe National Park, which is an absolutely stunning part of the south coast. And there's a campsite on the beach at Shelley Beach, which is a really cool spot. So we're going to set up there, enjoy the views in the area, and settle in for the night.
While Cam is setting up the tent, I'm cooking dinner tonight. We're having roasted chicken ravioli and spinach to be a bit more healthier. And it's gonna be with a beef bolognese sauce. So yes, boiling water, I'll chuck the pasta in, probably do 2 batches, and then mix everything all together after.
Another jam-packed day full of adventure in the bag. We started at Conto Campground near Margaret River, and we've ended up at Shelley Beach Campground just outside of Albany. So we've travelled a far distance and we've done a whole lot on the way here. Karis just cooked us up a feast, so we're having dinner to the sunset. Tomorrow morning we are getting up bright and early for our last day of this 3-day road trip, and we are heading into Albany and going to see some of the sights and sounds of that beautiful city and its surrounding natural areas. One of my favourite places in the world, Albany. We're going to eat dinner, head to bed, camp's all set up, and hopefully get a few hours sleep before we're up, before the sun tomorrow. It is the morning of day 3. We have travelled a little further east along the coast to one of my favourite national parks in Western Australia, Taundrop National Park. As you can tell, it is a little bit windy and it's a little bit cold, but well worth it. We have climbed up to Stony Hill Lookout for sunrise. Incredible views of the national park and the vast ocean behind us, as you can tell. I think this national park is pretty underrated. There's so much to do. As you can see just behind us is a walk trail, Peak Head Walk Trail. It's about a 5-kilometre return. The Bald Head Walk Trail is one of the best day hikes in the state. That's about a 13-kilometre return as well. And there's a few other awesome little spots as well that we're going to hit up after we're done watching the sunrise here. had a pretty epic morning, a great start to day 3, and we're just leaving Albany City at the moment and heading out into the mountains, which if you've followed me for any period of time, you know will be my favorite part of this road trip. We're gonna climb a couple of mountains for the rest of the day, and should be a good way to cap off the trip. We have made it to the Stirling Range National Park, about an hour north of Albany, one of my favourite places in the state. And on the way up here, we stopped past Parongarup National Park and climbed to the top of Castle Rock. But now we're heading up what I would call a true mountain. This is the trailhead for Toolbrunup Peak. Sits at about 1,052 metres above sea level. It's a pretty fun climb, a bit of boulder hopping, a bit of rock climbing towards the top, and the summit views are like nothing else in the state. So pretty cool way to end the road trip. We'll make the most of this climb and enjoy the views at the top. We've made it up to the infamous boulder field of Toolbrunup Peak, about halfway up at this point. It's definitely quite challenging, but a lot of fun if you're confident on this sort of terrain. But we're almost at the top now, so we'll see you up there with hopefully a pretty epic view. We've made it to the top of Toolbrunup Peak. We've been up here a few times and it never gets old, although it is a challenging climb, and we've got to get down now, which is just as challenging. But stoked to be up here, and we've ticked off our last stop on our 3-day ultimate West Aussie road trip. But we'll be jumping back in the car and heading north towards Perth when we get down. Well, that's a wrap on what I'm deeming to be the ultimate West Aussie road trip. Had an epic few days of adventure here in the southwest of WA. Massive thank you to Nissan for lending us their e-Power X Trail. Made the trip that much better. If you got some inspiration from our itinerary, then let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your adventures in Western Australia. And if you think that we missed any iconic or epic spots along the route we took, please let us know as well. That's it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.